Draw the curtains, dim the lights, let's start the show. Another week of Upland news, let's fucking go. Every day in Upland there's a stream for you. Different types of players and their points of view. Saturdays are for the Clue Crew, and we've got a lot to chew through, keeping tabs on all we can and sticking it to the man.
I'm not your lawyer, your banker, or your mother. Do your own research and make your own damn decisions. Welcome to the Clue Crew, where each week we discuss the various news, facts, and rumors. We're putting our heads together to solve the mystery that is Upland. I'm Scooby, and with me again is Cernus. How are you this evening, Cernus?
Doing fabulous. Yourself?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. I'm sitting here. I've got a new game to play. Well, not to play, but I've got a new game for the people in the audience. I'm excited. There might be some soccer fans out there. We're going to have a soccer game play out to decide who wins. And I'm sitting here with my nice Ultra Vice Guava Monster Energy Drink. Whoa, it just disappeared on screen. It's that good. It disappears as soon as you bring it up to the camera. Oh, man. But yeah, I'm doing just fine. Got a fair bit of things to talk about this evening. And I want people in the audience, though, to be thinking, because you're going to be picking sides. It's going to be, one team against the other. That's how soccer works. And the teams are Team Oman and Team Lightning, which I have a sneaking suspicion Lightning Leg might pick. Call it a hunch. But you guys just, in a little bit, I'll ask you to put in, hashtag your team and do it then. Don't do it now. I'm not looking now. Moving on. It's been a bit of a week in Upland. Did you pick up any of these structure ornaments? Let's just get the structure ornaments right out of the way. Not ornaments, the service structures. There's been no structure ornaments. That'd be cool if there were, though, man.
Well, I was curious to see your reaction to the fact that we now have hamburger kiosks. There was so much talk about, okay, well, if each service structure has a unique, okay, well, yeah, we go there too. But now we have hamburger kiosks and hot dog kiosks. And I think in real life, I always go to one kiosk that has both. I'm curious if we finally reach the moment where we're starting to have some duplication.
Okay, all right. No, I got you. My answer is no. It's not. I have not reached that point yet, but only because they did it after allowing multiple structures on a location. So now you can't. You essentially can have one place that sells both items because you can have them both on one property. If we could still only have one structure per location, yeah, that would probably do it for me because you're just talking about a fast food joint.
Okay. Fair game.
I was a little not surprised, but car washes. The car wash is probably the most underwhelming one that I've bought yet. I don't go to car washes in real life, so I don't know.
Sure.
Of all the ones although pointing out, fucking car wash one, you can see through the gosh darn windows. Why could we not see through the performance art studio? The performance art studio is the only one that I can think of aside from these little shacks that you can't see through the windows, and that it's still kind of bothering me.
I guess in real life they want to show the finished product for the wash. You're clean, and in the performance studio, performance theater, you're still the curtains.
Oh, vulgar Uplander, you're starting some shit with me now. You may not realize it, man. Don't you be dissing on my library, all right? I listened, all right? I listened to that whole damn podcast, and I made notes, and I'm here to tell you, library fan. Don't you fuck with my library. All right, we'll get to that in a little bit. All right, very passionate about my education. But yeah, no, the car wash to me was one that even more so than the massage parlor. I was just like, yeah, those are a dime a dozen. You do see them all over the place. Like it's one that the more I thought about, the more it made sense in terms of the metaverse mirroring aspects of the real world. Just because I don't go to them, they are everywhere. So,
Sure.
all right, okay. But yeah. So hamburger kiosk. No free, nothing free this week. But you know, I, you introduce the concept of a free kiosk, and then you were just like, well, all right, that's the one you got. I feel like that's something that they
Yeah.
are gonna do every so often. I don't know if they're always gonna tie it to burning a pass, but I do really feel like them specifically giving away a little kiosk, is a very fantastic, like drug dealer style. The first taste is free.
Hmm. Makes sense.
Oh, by the way, Spy, I know you're here. Meant to message you earlier. He'd asked if I was on Twitter, like if I like post, I go live and stuff. Like I have a Twitter account, um, because I had it before Musk got involved. I haven't like deleted it. I wouldn't say that I'm active on Twitter. Um, but so yes. Yeah. Move moving right along. So, all right, yeah, library. First of all, it is a public service, and maybe it's the mailman in me, but I'm all about the public service. And I'm here to tell you, man. Did you ever see The Page Master with Macaulay Culkin?
I have not. I assume it's a good one. I love Home Alone.
Oh. And yes, I have a Blue Sky, but it's a similar situation in terms of my activity on it. Less because I have a problem with it, and more because I'm just not. Now, if you're looking for me social media wise, I'm on Farcaster. Farcaster.xyz. It's the blockchain version of Twitter, and you can find me at Scooby.eth. ETH. That's my ENS. But but yeah, I like Farcaster. Side note, like anybody that's sick of Twitter like I got, and if you also like crypto stuff, go to farcaster.xyz. You know what? We're on the internet here. I'll show you, just so people can also see. I don't know if I don't think I'm even signed in, but like you'll be able to see what I'm talking about, presumably. Oh, well, that's loading up. So yeah, the Page Master starred Macaulay Culkin. It started out real life and then went into cartoon, and the whole story is about him going to the library, and something magical happens, and he ends up inside of the world of books, and it's a cartoon movie about him as a cartoon boy befriending these three books of three different genres. They're like personified books, walking around and talking, and he manages to like grow up a little bit and conquer his fear of his bullies or of going up to the tree house. Something I don't exactly remember every point, but I was like 8, and I was like, "That's what the library is." I was, "Mom, Dad, I gotta get my library card. I just saw this commercial from Pizza Hut. I gotta get to the library tomorrow." And and while the library wasn't quite what that movie led me to believe, I have been a lifelong advocate of it ever since. Love the library. We walk my kid to the library.
False advertising.
Yeah, right, yeah. But we walk my kid to the library like once a week. She picks out her books. We pick out our books. Big on the library. I'll stop now, but just so you guys know, I was listening and I was not happy with the hate I was hearing for my beloved library. Why is my internet connection unstable? This whole city's internet.
I mean, at least it's all imaginative or fantasy or creative and a way to see a service structure for more than it is. So, give Upland props where it's due. Maybe a car wash that you can see through squeaky clean is a good thing. I don't know.
I don't know either. Although, I mean, maybe this is me being too hopeful. Hold on a second. What is going on? My internet is going up and oh no, now it's fine again. Now it's not. Now it is. Now it's not. I give up. The chat's gone. Everything's gone wonky. I'm just gonna keep talking. But yeah, maybe I'm being too overly hopeful. But I noticed that cars are keeping track of mileage. My vans, which by the way, got all three kinds of vans. I got a passenger, a cargo, and a VE. I got all three, and I was very happy about that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But vulgar up. I'm assuming LSAC. Says he's pro library. Just thought the structure was boring. Yeah, I guess. Although it's one of those where it's just like, how many exciting libraries have I seen in real life? Children's libraries tend to have a very fun facade. So I won't disagree with you there. What I will say is that every single any service structure that you don't think looks cool enough but you like the idea of is a prime use case scenario for a structure ornament. Like, if that's boring, you can make an ornament that makes it look a lot cooler and like what you want for a library. That's actually something I had planned on doing before we'd had service structures coming out. I had planned on commissioning somebody to make structure ornaments that like would make a townhouse look like it was a library, actually. Like it'd be like a big book on top of the house, and I was going to be like, hey, this is a library. See, it's on the labeled property of a library property that I bought. Now I'm just going to actually build a library. So, yeah. Happy ending. Oh, wait, no, we already have those. Those are the massage parlors.
I've been wondering about if we get like extra credit if we put like a service structure actually is like pulled in on the upper, with like if it's a church, put a church structure on it. I feel like this should be sort of a double reward or something. So, I don't know, just kind of more true to life.
Yeah. That's like I said, or like Zoolander. What is this? A library for ants? They need to read. All right, did you grab the nightclub? A lot of people liked the nightclub. I do too. Did you like the nightclub?
Yes, I think it looks very well done. It's got a very entertainment vibe. I'm pretty pleased. In fact, the one I was eyeing that I wish I had picked up that I didn't. This has been a crazy one for me, but yeah, they really. It doesn't look like any other typical structure you even see in all of Upland. I think they really hammered home something totally unique as far as a structure in the nightclub.
Yeah, I mean it's got that little section up top where I guess that's where they get the table service. I think that's what the kids call it these days, right? You go to the club and you get table service. But we don't actually, it doesn't look like we see any more inside of it. But I do like that it has the slanted roof that's got glass tiles. It's got the city skyline like with the records above it as like the actual sky. It's got the martini glass over the doors. It is cool. I'd go to that in real life.
And if you look at it from afar, you kind of it looks like a big subwoofer.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Huh. Right on. All right. Well, So did you take advantage of the van sale?
I was tempted to. I'm just I'm a little bit USD at the moment,
Yeah.
and trying to decide on where I'm going to shell out more soon. But I heard it was a very good sale and a lot of an interest. So I would still consider it quite a positive for up in the community.
Yeah, I mean, they all of them, all 250 sold out in like 3 hours or so, which for a car sales, pretty darn good, I think. And I can't
Yeah.
remember I can't remember which show. I listened to actually a few of them today on Speedrun, but one of the shows mentioned that they had checked the secondary market and you couldn't get a van for less than $100 on the secondary market, so the pricing was actually very reasonable. And yeah, that tracked for when I was looking at the market while the sale was going on. I'm just I don't know. I'm excited to see how the vans are gonna play into things, especially since their cargo capacity is in liters. Did you know this? I just found this out today. What's up, Vape
I
Guy?
did not know, but I do the fact that it seems like this sale is not as stale as the semi trucks. It seems like we're getting very close to finality on activation, especially with these measurements and just it feels like we're that closer to actually utilizing logo in some capacity. It's validating.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think a lot of the things that we have had notions of for some time from Upland, and sometimes like metrics of, I think that we're actually like living units, for instance, like cargo capacity
Mm-hmm.
or seating capacity with the uppies coming in are gonna actually have a role to play. But that's also why I was just going through this all the day. And that's how I noticed that they're actually keeping track of the odometer. I've got 3 vans. They're all showing 0 kilometers. I don't take issue with it being metric. We have a base 10 system for a
Mm-hmm.
reason, because it makes fucking sense. So I don't mind metric. I'm confused that the cargo capacity is volumetric, liters, like liquid. What are we going to be carrying? What kind of cargo is this?
Page master. It's all
Yeah, it's all
anything
paint
I
and
want it to be.
it's all paint and ink toner and yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, I'd never. But then also I'm just like,
3D thing car.
but then also I'm thinking to myself, 1,767 liters. Oh, okay, fine. I have no idea. Is that a lot? I have no idea how much that is. Like, I'm thinking to myself, my reference point is a 2 liter of soda, and so I'm just like, all right, 800 2 liters of
Well,
soda.
word for guys before this rolls out, try not to use too many letters at once. I know back in the day, what was it? Thank Me Later on the Upix cast. He was talking with totems. He was like, I don't know how many units are supposed to be good to start. So I think he shelled out like 3,000
No.
first speed. Like, how do you know it's the unit of measure? How much you use? So it'll be
Yeah, no
but
kidding.
go slow, just like any car. You start slow before you rev to full gas.
City Pigeon is saying that I guess they've been doing the odometer ever since they allowed city to city travel in cars, and yeah, that I'm sure I just didn't notice. But yeah, have they always had the cargo capacity in liters, and was that ever brought up, like explanation wise? And is sparklet a liquid or a gas? I don't shit. In
Could it
that
be a frozen solid?
Well, in that sparklet is I mean, it's reminiscent of electricity. What state of matter is electricity? Shit. All right, else like I gotta like. All right, I'm gonna be doing a Google later because now I'm just like, what even
Go
is
to the
electricity?
library.
I'll go to the library. I'll ask my local librarian. He'll know. He's British. He knows, smart stuff. Oh yeah, and anyway, I was saying earlier, this is Farcaster. As you see, it's Twitter. It's social media, but everything's on the blockchain and built around Base. So check it out. Save that part for later. So yeah, I don't know. City Pigeon says yes, it is, and it's always been a metric, just like in racing. It's kilometers per P8. I am assuming he means kilometers per hour and not acid level, but shit, I don't know. The capacity is a volume. Liters are cubic feet. Is that how that works? All right, just to be fair, guys, this was never I didn't major in this shit. All right, I got a bachelor's in management and marketing. All right, I leave the numbers to the nerds. I'm just kidding. All right. Well, anyway, so yeah, we got new service structures. We got new vans. It's really all that was going on with that. What else do we have? We had that sizzle drift. You've been doing any? Yeah, well, so yeah, so they got the leaderboard, which we'll open that in a new tab. But sizzle drift is in Queens, New York, from Tuesday through Tuesday. So now. Yeah, it's cart only. Looks like they picked. You know what? If you're into racing, you already know about all this. I'm not that into racing, which is why I'm just now reading this for the first time. But I do like that it's carts only. I'm a big fan of kart racing only, just because go-karts are fun. Which that's another thing too. These starter carts. All right. I've been hearing a little bit of hate on the starter carts, and maybe I'm just a simpleton, but I like them. I bought 3 of them just because they're selling for Upix and they look like tiny little go-karts. I'm gonna use them for giveaways or something. I think they're cute as hell. So you know what, Upland?
Very nice.
There's some sugar for you, Upland. People are throwing salt on your carts, but not me. I like the carts. All right, I gotta move this chair.
I like the fact
I keep thinking there's someone right behind me. There's not.
To me, it's not a car person. I don't race regularly. I feel like they're easier to remember and to figure out. Not just starter carts just for buying, but when actually racing them, it seems like there's a little bit less goals to it than the regular cars. So it does seem to be a nice entry pathway to the whole racing. So I think it's great that we're doing a sizzle where it's more, for everybody, not the fast.
Not the people that have already invested both time and money and yada yada into it. No, I agree. And Swarley's pointing out that a lot of the hate is for the overpriced, and that's fair. I think that they were a little overpriced, and I think that is evident by the fact they have not all sold out, even though they are a sale for Upix. No, that's entirely fair. I think that 7,500 or whatever would have been a lot better. I'm just talking about aesthetic. I've heard some people say they don't like the aesthetic, and I'm defending the aesthetic. Like I said, maybe it's because I wasn't allowed to have one as a child because my parents were overprotective, and so now I'm like, we go karts, but yeah. My friend down the street,
You're
had
getting your
one.
license just
Right on. All right. But yeah, so they do the racing things. Of course they do. Racing is one of the few like actually Upland made game parts of the platform. So when it comes time for them to do an event around anything truly gamified, that's like their biggest card in the deck. Um, I look forward to there being more cards in that deck and seeing um, how racing is treated after that. I feel like right now it always comes back to racing for things like that just because it's what they have. Bad.
also interesting with go karts. Notice that they look like the color palette. They're similar to the scooters in Rome,
Mm-hmm. I noticed that too.
which I love too.
Yeah, I don't know if my wife were here, she'd know the like. Well, that's 90s pastel retro or whatever thing. But yeah, I like it. That is a good shade of blue. I know words. Badges are cool. Not every badge is as cool as every other badge, but badges are cool. So, like, if I were into racing, I would do. Well, that's not fair. If I were into the competitive nature of these kinds of things, I would try for that. But when there's but that I yeah, like I said, badges are cool. So I'll aside from City Pigeon, who's expecting one of these? I'm just well, man. I guess I'm not kidding, but you know what I mean.
I think I'll try. I'm probably going to try a couple of these.
Say that again. What'd you say?
I think I'm going to try. I don't know if I'm going to get the badge, but I'm going to.
Right on. Let's see. What do you top racer badge, top 3 racers badge? Oh, you gotta be okay. So you gotta get the top 3 to get the badge. Otherwise, you just get another lore legit that no one gives a shit about. Really wish they'd stop that. All right. So vroom vroom, go go, and yeah, let's go ahead and take this time and remember, everyone, it's you have to pick a team. We had what was it? Team Oman, I believe. Team Oman and Team Lightning. Now, what you guys are playing for is some harvest season ornaments. That's Halloween for the layman. I'll show you some of the types that you could win. Why, you could win this Creepy Kid version 2 luxury modern house. Why, that looks disgusting. But yeah, that's not even the one I was looking for. I was trying to find one of the bad ones that everyone hates. I've got several of them. The one that people describe it in a couple of different ways. I'll go with baby vomit. I'm okay saying it looks like baby vomit. I don't like the other one. Think it's this one. Yeah, I think it's this one. Yeah, the just blob of baby flesh on top of the pot. Anyway, point is, you get some harvest ornaments. You know damn well that next week or next month or whenever the next season is, they're gonna like make that a thing at some point. So get in early now. All right. So need to write this down. All right, we got people coming in with their team picks. So we got Team Oman and Team Lightning. And yeah, I'm gonna write down all these names for just a second. Bear with me. All right, City Pigeon, you are Lightning. Spy, you are Lightning. Robert Pfeiffer, you are Lightning. King Cody is opposites, so I'm just gonna assume Oman. As well as Caustic Array and Cassic Mar. Swarley, I'm sorry, Swarley. WTF is not a team option. We have Oman and Lightning. Vulgar Uplanders, Lightning. And yep, I already got you, King Cody. All right, so if anybody has not picked a team, you got about like, I don't know, 30 seconds or something, and then all right, Swarley coming in with the buzzer beater. All right, so I'm gonna press start in like just a minute, see if there's any stragglers, and then you know, we'll see who wins. Oh, I should see. They should set the time. Game speed, game duration. Yeah, that's what we want. All right. 10 minutes is what we're gonna get. All right. So we'll save that for a little bit. Moving right along, I got to get better at this. I'm gonna try and get better at not just taking up time by saying people's names out loud as I write them down. But better that than not keeping track and having no idea who won what. I've done that too. Oh, did I say you were Lightning? Or hell, I don't know. Where did I put you? Oh, all right, okay. I'm sorry. I'll fix it. You are Oman, and yes, I am silly. So what? We got other stuff going on, and I already talked about the van sale, the new service structures. We just went over the sizzle drift. We had a new developer update. I'm gonna get to that in just a second because we also got a new quality of life update. Did you hear about that?
I did. It looks like a lot of new enhancements to look forward. Very exciting.
Yeah. Well, because there's two. There's quality of life, and then there was the one with the mayors that was actually interesting. The quality of life update is Squall put it in live updates, and it just is talking about the reserved items. It's literally the exact thing that they put in that article for the first developer update, and immediately he got called out that it wasn't working. So as far as I know, this is a feature, an improvement that has now been announced twice and not delivered on. So,
and that's the thing. That's why I said this is kind of like still a work in progress. And we can call it what it is, but it's still great to see that they have both a quality of life update and a developer update in the same week. That might be a historic. We've never seen two updates like that in a single week ever. So even if it is half working or whatnot, it's still a win in my opinion.
Yeah, it is. I only find it strange that it's that it has like the same verbiage in the details, but different verbiage for the heading, quality of life versus developer update. It just caused me to reread it to be like, no, this is the same thing you already said. Okay, all right, but no, you're right. I would rather have redundant communication than a lack of communication like we've had in the past. Yeah.
Exactly.
But oh nope, you're not what I'm looking for. You are okay. But yeah, we did have the developer update as well that had just a bunch had a bunch in it, and has already been updated. What do you think? Just starting off, where is it? The Sparklet utility regarding the spending of Sparklet. Where the hell did you put it?
Appreciate that they clarified the usage, and that sounds like we're going to get at least the Sparklet piece, the ability to burn or consume or what, that there's going to be some kind of vote around this. So I do appreciate that going to be a player community to this.
Yeah, I want to believe that, and I think it's likely. I'm stopping short of having full faith because of their precedent of votes only leading to their consideration. You know, like
Sure.
we've seen several times now where, or at least it feels like several times. I know of at least a couple where they've taken the community's vote and they've like even done it, but like the wording has been like, and if we like it, we'll do it. And I'm just like, that's no. Fucking commit ahead of time.
Right.
And that's why I'm a little I personally straight up I want them to remove this bit. I want them to remove the word deflationary. Because until you commit to burning it, it's not deflationary. It could go right the fuck back in. That is the opposite.
I would like also the voting to be maybe list pro and a con to both sides of an argument. So, like, if the answer is yes or no, even if they want to vote yes or they vote no, give cons to both of them so that at least look more neutral when you present this. As to, okay, this is what we have, and if you're wanting us to vote, that means it should be more, here's two options. You all decide, not us positioning which one we want ahead of the others.
And we have no detail. I mean, in the first version of this article, there wasn't even the idea that a vote would be part of it. It just straight up said it will contribute to a deflationary ecosystem, which I know I'm not the only one that saw that word deflationary and went, "Oh shit, you gonna burn this?" And that's where I immediately I got on Discord. I messaged it. I don't know if I like directly like at X1, but I asked like, am I reading this right? Does this mean it's gonna get burnt? And X1 replied to me and said, yes, that's exactly what it means. It's going to be burnt. And I was just like, and I got an answer. Awesome. About like 20 minutes later, we got this update because I'm guessing somebody reached out to him of ooh.
Asterisk.
Yeah. I was so happy. I was just like, yeah, we're finally going to burn like the deflationary mechanics. That's what I want out of this. I don't mind paying 20, 30, 50, 100 a sparklet if it's actually going to be burnt and that's what it takes to build a seed. Like, yeah. But no, because for that to happen, now we have to have a vote where it's an option. We have to have the majority of the community vote to burn it, and then we have to have the Upland developers choose to take that under consideration and actually do it. And while there's no reason to believe all those steps won't happen, that's too many steps for something that's supposed to be a simple, hey, you're spending this.
Sure, yeah.
Because for that matter, if it's not going to be burnt, then it shouldn't go to the fucking community pool. It should go to the shop owner. If I'm spending it, when I spend $1, a bit of that may go to the government, but most of that goes to whoever runs the shop that I'm buying from. So it needs to either be burnt or go to who I'm buying the seeds from.
that would make a lot more sense and help support the economy for for sure. So I would like that. That's just the big question mark is this vote, and it's a cliffhanger for sure.
Yeah, which again, the votes obviously it's not mentioned in the original version of the article. It's only mentioned in this editor's note, and and it says the community will then vote on how it's used, with burning being one possible option, but not automatic. It's as big of a single step back as I think they were comfortable making, and so that's where now. There's a lot of people, to be clear and fair. There's a lot of people that don't want it burnt. Like I may even be in the minority of being like, yes, burn it. I might be in the minority on that. Probably am. But I still say that if that's not the case, then you need to take out the word deflationary, because that's not what it means. So that's all. Yeah, that's it.
I think with deflationary economics, we know, things change. Not everything's going to be deflationary. You burn something that doesn't necessarily mean it's deflationary or inflationary. There's so many other aspects of what goes into inflation. It's basically goods rising over time, a basket of goods. And burning something doesn't necessarily equate to a basket of goods rising in terms of price. Can be potentially causal, but so many more aspects. So just characterizing that as deflationary, I'd have to look more into where we're going with that division.
Right. I would, to be clear, I would even accept it being used if they said that every voting option will be in some way deflationary. But like you've set it up specifically so that it can't be like they put deflationary in bold. It might not be at all. What if the whole community votes for it to be evenly given away and dispersed as an airdrop? Then it would be inflationary.
Yeah.
So
and
yeah.
To me, I feel like sorry to jump in, but to me, like if things are more inflationary, that means that things are heating up, and there's something that's driving demand, and there's things being airdropped, an engagement piece, right? And in this platform, I feel like going more inflationary as a whole is a better thing than price falling and falling, because we've gone through several years of things falling. So even if that means we deal with downside effects of inflation, I think that would, in some ways, be a better thing. So when we consider all these firms and where sparkling and pricing, there's again many more variables and ways to look at just simple. It's this or that. So yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah. I'm very interested in seeing what I'm very interested in seeing what the wording is on the options they put in that vote whenever it happens. Although when it happens, I mean, we could be 2030 at the, well, that's a little mean. It's only 25 now, but it could be a year. Who knows? But even so, we got other things going on with this developer update, and what was it? Property ownership, groundwork for residents, interconnected, buzzword, bold word. Alright, yeah, so spend it to get a seed. I think that it's going to all depend on the amount there. I've heard other people say the same thing. I think that's really it. How much? How much are you going to charge me to get my seed? So waiting to see that. Spend it to merge the uppies. I guess that makes sense. I don't know. What do you think about that? Spending of all the things to spend Sparklet on, having it merge the uppies.
Yeah, and this is one of these visions that it's so far out of you're asking me to take a tactical position on something that I don't even know what the strategy is. I don't even know what the playing field is yet. So to say, okay, am I looking forward to merging uppies and using my own Sparklet that I have strategies for with so many for horse that I'm like, okay, it was a good read. It's feature. It has extra functionality, maybe value. So I think it's still a positive, but it's like this huge. Like I have a clue, but I feel so clueless with this particular one. Like it's okay, good. It's a clue that's going, but beyond that, I feel pretty clueless. On the clue for this.
Yeah, before they put in the editor's note about Sparklet not necessarily being burned, I kind of lumped that in with the fact that we're going to be burning the uppies to merge them, and I was just like, shit. So I'm going to be burning 2 uppies and burning Sparklet. This is a hell of an upgrade. I'm burning my whole wallet down. So that may not be the case now, but it's going to require Sparklet to do it. Again, it's going to all depend on how much. I want to see the uppies first.
Piece, yeah, and the other piece is I don't know how to feel about burning uppies. I feel like my understanding of uppies is that they're supposed to be like animated. So I don't know.
Oh man, that's a good point. Do we get to watch them burn? You press the burn button and they engulf in flames. Yes. Yeah, why not? And yeah, I actually agree with Caustic Array that he says I think they say that I think that they're putting the feelers out there to get feedback a lot with the announcement and updates. And I think that Upland does this like every couple of years. I feel like they'll just put out a bunch of stuff that is kind of vague but kind of specific but not committal, and they just see how everyone reacts and then go quiet for a bit. So I think to a degree probably true. But I also know that they've been doing a lot of shit behind the scenes on the technical side, what with their own blockchain and the way they're doing with AI and all that. So I do think some of this is locked in on the back, but I don't know how much or which parts. But I think for some of it, you're definitely right. And yeah, Spy, they should implement birth with uppies, but then again, they should also implement, like, we were told they're going to be immortal, and now we are also told we have to burn them to upgrade them. So I'm still not clear on how on how like new uppies being introduced is going to work mechanically or narratively. Are they going to be born? Is that going to be part of it, or is it just going to be like, here's the numbers today? We don't know where they came from or where they went.
Magic.
Yeah, they're like, and then we got living unit blueprints, which I know City Pigeon is a little annoyed about, and I am too. First of all, he already came up with a name with the permits, the building permits. It worked fine. People are using it. I think Upland should have just adopted it. But I really don't think they should have used the word blueprints again. They've already done that. You already have that. That was that other thing over there.
I feel like it's a big semantics game that has left a lot of confusion.
Yeah, and it is semantics, and the only reason that I think it really matters this time is that the specific word blueprint they've used before, and like it was in a different fashion. It had to be like the blueprint you burned because you tied whatever structure it was to the property, and this is not that. But I don't know. The only thing I will say that is different between these living unit blueprints and our service structure things, I mean, I don't know this for certain, but it doesn't. I'm inferring that we as players will be able to buy these blueprints and sell the blueprints on the secondary market. Maybe I'm just hopeful about that, but that would be a distinction between them and the permits that we're getting for these service structures. If we're able to trade and resell the blueprints such that it leaves our account can't build that anymore. Then we had mayors and abandoned properties. What did you think of about that's been a hot button issue with people this week about mayors being able to potentially go in, build on an abandoned property if somebody hasn't logged in, and then if that person comes back, it's up to them what they want to do. Where do you land?
I actually, I feel like, you know, this is the first time there's some kind of value in a ghost property, and I feel like that's in some ways more realistic in real life. That eventually, a parcel of land eventually can be turned to some use. I've been in neighborhoods and up where we keep trying to out to certain the most mysterious fellows that you find in Upland, even outside of Upland. You Google their name, you try to find any pathway to say, "Hey, can you see me? We're Upland. We hear you're Upland. We see you're in Upland. We see this blue square on Upland. Can we like do something more than just have it blue?" So yes, I think that would be great. I think it's kind of another, let's continue like a retention strategy as well as a use strategy. And it's realistic. It's also an extra reason to come back to Upland. I don't see anything wrong with it. I know the con is that some will say it's not true to ownership, but they're not, at least as far as I'm understanding, they're actually transferring property, just building on it. So in a way, it's kind of like, the way I see it is, okay, well, this is somebody else's land, but it's abandoned. You know, okay, here's a squatting situation. I don't know. It seems all fair without any codified law against squatting and metaverse. So to me, I think it's safe.
Yeah, I generally agree. I was look, we're never gonna get our private keys, guys. I am generally an optimist, but let that dream die. I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen. I would love for us to have our private keys and it to get to a point of actual true ownership so that you could take your property out, sell it on OpenSea, someone buys it on OpenSea, imports it back into the game. We talked about this years ago. It's not gonna fucking happen. We need to just accept that. And just have fun.
For sure.
That and like accepting that radical acceptance, moving on. What's next? And I agree. I think that once you accept that, like, we're just never gonna get the private keys, then it's a lot easier to swallow, and it makes a whole lot of sense because it's only that it would only allow things to be added, nothing to be taken away and destroyed by the community. So the worst thing that happens is somebody comes back after an extended absence and they have extra stuff. There's no chance of them having less stuff. They can only have extra stuff. Yes, that might be annoying. Yes, they may not want that building.
In real life, just to jump in here, in real life, if you have a structure you're not taking care of it, you'll probably come back 10 years later, there will be graffiti written on the wall, right? Or you'll have a web. And in this case, you're not going to have something like actually getting a free structure or even service where it's coming there because people built on it. So you're actually getting positive for doing nothing. So to me, it's positive all the way around, and it's just another easy invitation to come back and be, oh, wow, I actually got something cool while I was sleeping.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's I agree. I think that most people would look at it as a, oh shit, I've been gone, I came back and I have a building. That's cool. I don't think most people would be upset to see that. But even if they are, there's a button for them to press. And I know there's a lot of people with a lot of properties, but like I'm sorry, if you're an absent whale and you come back and all you've got is a bunch of built properties that you don't want, well, log out, don't come back. Like the whole point of this is the extended absence is what is the catalyst. So yeah, I don't I some people, the true ownership, it bothers them because it's a step away from true ownership, and that is true on a technical side, but as I said, we ain't getting that anyway, so it's a moot point in my opinion. Flip side, I have heard some people, Too Stupid to Win was one. I think maybe one of the ninjas was another. That they were a little apprehensive about it because they didn't know how they felt about the idea of um, dedicating their like resources to help out a player who could then come back and then just tear it all down. They had like the flip side where they didn't like that the person could
Sure.
come back and then just destroy it if they wanted to, which honestly that I did not see coming at all. I saw it coming a little bit, some people being like, this is against true ownership. The idea of people being like, what the fuck? I built this shed on your land and you came back after an extended absence and you think that just because you own this land you can destroy this shed? Yeah, I own the land. I've got the deed right here. The cops say that I can. Like that it did kind of blow me away that people took that stance. But hey, people have different stances. Congratulations to Lightning, Lightning Leg, and also the others of Team Lightning. They have won 5-3. So I have your names written down, and I will be like in your DMs and stuff. We'll get every single one of you a harvest ornament. I'll try and make it to where it's one for a structure you already have too. We'll make sure we can see if we can work that out. So congratulations, Team Lightning. Way to go.
Yay.
Yeah, woo. So yeah, now there's also discussion about it being too much power for one person, for the mayor. But then I remember, I think it was Elijah was saying in the cafe that like those types of things are going to be done by the mayor and their team. Which I think that this is all coming back to a lot of this is just words on a page until we see how it translates to pictures on another page. Because how Upland actually, yeah, well, yeah, how Upland actually implements this stuff, yeah, like everything else, we're just gonna have to see. But I do agree that it's the best compromise solution that I have seen them come up with in regards to the abandoned property issue. Doesn't completely solve it. For instance, does not solve the issue of deleted properties. Still waiting on that one. Have you heard anything about deleted properties, or has anybody in the chat heard Upland, one way or another, actually take a stance beyond just, oh yeah, those are a thing? If so, let me know. I would genuinely like to know if Upland, any red name or above, has taken any stance. So that's all. I'd like to know that personally. I've got a few properties in particular that if they have, I'd like to get in touch with them about. Save that for another episode. So yeah, kind of segueing a little bit. Do the mayors have any part of approving or allowing meta ventures in their city? I mean, right now, as far as I know, the only thing mayors have is a like theoretical park they're gonna make, and we only have like a half a dozen mayors. It's like so early alpha that I don't think there's even anything definite on how that shit's gonna work. If there is, I don't know it. Um, uh, Upland Feedback Board. That's their NOLT, and that's actually a good time to segue into our NOLT of the week. Yeah, if you have feedback, positive, negative, comments, whatever for Upland about this, this is where they want you to put it. And as you can see, people have been weighing in. Hell, some of you might be on this screen right now. But yeah, there is no feedback channel anymore, or well, there is, but it just links you to NOLT. So if you want your voice to be heard by Upland about what they're doing, this is the place to do it. X1 says right here, let us know your feedback and suggestions. I'm not going to go through all these comments. I more so just wanted to make sure that anybody I can tell knows that, like, this is where you go to put your shit. Personally, I think that Upland doesn't. I don't think Upland goes out of their way to get the community in mass to actually voice their opinions with things like this. Or maybe it's just that the community in mass doesn't. But there's so many people on Discord, and I remember seeing that feedback channel popping so often back then, and once it switched to NOLT, it just felt like it dried up a good bit. And so I'm kind of hoping that that shifts a little bit. Do you have, Cernus, do you have anything that you would suggest in terms of the abandoned properties? Like any specific things you wish they would do or specifically not do?
Mm, Well, I was add a comment really with nodes and neighborhoods that um, the fact that was shown on some of the other broadcasts about if a player came back, demolished the structure. There are neighborhoods that are, for example, 90% built or greater, and even just incrementally get a little higher as far as building output. Um, I think it's no longer of a concern. Okay, I'm building more structure. At that point, the whole community of the neighborhood is solid around. Let's build out our entire neighborhood. So if we can and a way to do it, that is amazing. I know, for example, Century City, Los Angeles, which I was a community leader. That was something we used to focus on so much, but there were so many of the unbuilt structures you couldn't build on unless to spend a fortune or you reached out in every single way. So I think that's kind of a cool extra feature. What I just wanted to add for comedy here, I'm curious what the metric be for abandonment will, as far as when that gets codified, because I can also hear myself wanting to build for funsies on big A's maybe a microstructure and big property he has, and the note with love.
I think that if Big A ever that like it gets considered extended absence, that's just I think the whole game's going down at that point. Although I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about. I mean, I don't know Big A at all as as a person. I'm still not convinced they're not a robot. But in all seriousness, I've never been sure about how I feel about them, like about that one player has so much of the market share. It's kind of like the Upland Elon Musk in terms of like actual just market share of the available resources. I will say that Abdullah has clearly
Right.
shown like interest in keeping things good, not crashing it. So that's good. Happy about that.
Hmm.
Beyond that,
Sure.
I'm a bigger fan of just like of spreading things out. But that's. Whew. And then I see if Spy says if I become a mayor in Nashville, I'm gonna do small players first for abandoned properties. Oh shit, that makes sense. Yeah. All right, hold on. We got other notes though. Sorry, I'm Saturday nights, man. I like this time slot, but I gotta figure out better. I gotta manage my caffeine intake schedule better. I'm crashing too much when I should be still rising. Problem is, I at this point. Let's see. This is.
Trying to make it a wine night. I think Saturday night for that.
Yeah, I think I've probably had like right on. I probably had like 800 milligrams of caffeine so far today. I don't know. I lost track. Next note of the week: structure sorting.
Oh.
So I was scrolling through and I saw this one and I liked it, so I picked it. Structure sorting, from Recurrier apparently. Saying please split residential and service structures in the list of available builds. This has already been done for showrooms and factories. It's a simple change in the sorting and it can make the process of construction far more pleasant for the player base. Fucking A. I have like anytime I go to build anything now, I'm at that top of the list. I'm just like gym, townhouse, and I'm just like, wait, why isn't there a heading for this? I've got like 20 of these. So I'm not signed in right now, but I'll sign in
Hmm.
later, and I'm gonna upvote this. And if anybody, if you like it, show it some love, give it an upvote. If you don't, well, there's a down button too. Although I can't imagine anybody being like, "Fuck you, I like having all my shit jumbled." But hey, so there's that word again, filter. Oh, oh yeah. Maybe we should get them a dictionary, Swirly. Like that's what we should get the Upland team for Christmas because they've got a trouble with certain words. You know, they haven't seemed to figure out filter yet to give it to us. They haven't figured out deflationary. They haven't figured out blueprint. We need to give them a dictionary. Let's see here. What would you if you had the option, Cernus, to like if this was put in, and so you're going and you're looking and you're going to build something, which would you put at the top? Like, would you have it go like residential and then service and then showroom and then factory? Would you go from like business down to residential? What do you think your like ordering of that would be?
Yes, I think there's some kind of category section first. First of all, let me take a. When I go to build, I wish I could see which services I bought first. So since I put money into that, I would love to have services be sort of a whole different, maybe area of the quick menu.
Okay.
That, these are part of my assets in a way. So there's that theme. Second one is make the subcategories alphabetical order. So we're not seeing like showrooms ahead of factories. I think they'll be like alphabetical order by subcategory, so it's easier to find.
Okay.
So I'm navigating, scrolling page 3, moves down to find, oh, here's the subcategory, especially when the icons are still a certain size. That's going to be important. And every structure should also be in alphabetical order. And I still don't think we have every structure showing, how many living units, or if it even has a living unit, or if there's some that has we're waiting for on certain things. So there's a bit to flesh out still. Some of that with the full frame.
Right on. I'd not considered alphabetical, but damn, I have to admit that like when I often prefer like dynamic ordering so like like biggest to smallest or something like that, but like in lieu of something like that, oh my god, because alphabetical is the one that you can always figure out. You know what I mean? It's like when you're scrolling through Netflix and shit and you're just like, hold on. Billy Madison starts with B, so I know I got to get to B. Okay, all right, we're getting out of the genres. I couldn't find it in the genres, so we'll get it with B. So that I like that. That's interesting. I also think see, I want factories before showrooms as well, but I'm thinking order of like life, like factory to build the product.
Causality.
Like factory to build the product, showroom to sell it. But yeah, I completely agree with you that I think factories and showrooms need to be in the same category and just have one above the other, because factories and showrooms they go hand in hand. Reaching enough types of structures that I think they absolutely need to do drop down. It needs to be drop down sections. So residential, click, then I see the whole list. Service structures, click, then I see the whole list. I think that would be a nice quality of life update.
Yes. It's got to be less of a scrolling situation. Otherwise, we're going to be scrolling like where Wales goes to collection properties. So collections have like, the 1,000 properties. Save us some of that mindfulness, please. And for Wales as well. Please, Upland. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, and I know that we have that recent extension from Caped Madman, which got featured again on one of the podcasts, either Upland After Dark or Meant to Be, but like I think it was Upland After Dark. They just went over it again because like it's that fucking useful, and that's great. Like, but again, I'm just like community made tool. Upland, don't rely on another community extension to fix this. Do your job.
Sure. Exactly.
All right, and then our last note of the week. Enable long-distance driving with property-based charging stations. I didn't agree with every single element of this, but I found it fascinating as a suggestion, and I wanted to shine some light on it. Says it's from A. Is it Big A? No. Alero Stocks, whoever that is, whatever. Says currently vehicles in Upland can't realistically be driven over long distances, which limits both immersion and utility. To improve this system, I suggest introducing charging stations that, and then they go into a whole like code. Well, it's not code, but it's like a code block thing. You know what I'm saying? I think where it's like a embedded whatnot. Anyway, they're suggesting that it would be a player-owned asset, like a map asset. It'd be a charging station that you would buy and put it on your property, and so it would function like a map asset, and you could upgrade it over time for faster charging, more capacity, whatever. And so people would come, park at your property, use your charging station, you'd get some shit for it, and then they would, drive on their merry way. Gas stations, basically. My only issue with it would be where the sparklet comes from to
I
do.
imagine we're going to have a structure for gas station. So just FYI.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure we will at some point. Yeah, I would love if they actually had this utility though. Um, like the way I would see it working would be that whoever like owns the property, owns the charging station, would use their own spark to charge it up. Cause that would make sense the same way you charge up your car. So if I could charge up a battery for someone else to hook into, and they pay me for that, I could see that. Yep, well, so but yeah, that's just something I wanted to shine a little bit of light on. It's our note of the week. And if anybody ever has in the future like a suggestion on Nolt that they thought was just like a fucking banger, they want to shine some light on, send it my way. I'll take a look at it and maybe I'll put it on the podcast. And then it'll be seen by dozens of people. Dozens. All right. Spy thinks they should just make car driving like flying, where you click the property you want to go to, and then just add it in a slot where you can allot spark and tells you how long it's gonna take, like simple travel with cars. Which, yeah, on a flight, I kind of just expected that to be like the next thing, and then it wasn't. So, yeah, I'm with you. All right, time for our weekly check-in with the Epic Spark Exchange. Nope. All right. Well, maybe next week. Definitely check out Meant to Be, because this upcoming Meant to Be is gonna have Stosh, and that's kind of the like interview of the year we've all been waiting for, or I've been waiting for. So yeah, everybody, tune
I've been
in.
finding it interesting, though. It seems like every time Stosh goes on a hiatus from communication, he gets back on through media, Upland Media, which broadcasting. I think that's great, and I'm really excited about the episode. But it is interesting his MO with putting on a broadcast rather than just when we for an update on the server. I think that it would be easier to do that than if you're struggling with communication and to get on a broadcast. That's my view on it, but it'll be a great episode.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those things where I'm fully. I hate to look at it this way, but in complete truth, when you get to that point, it's like literally nothing could happen, and it would still be fascinating to watch. Like even if everybody on screen just sat there, that would still be fascinating to watch, because like, well, okay, I guess the update was no update. Weird. So yeah, let's see. We've already talked about that with the mayors, so that's basically done. I had something else I wanted to talk about. Where was that? Not there, not there. Oh, new Flash challenge that might still be going on, probably over. This one was answer the question, why should I play Upland? And aside from the 10,000 upicks or whatever, if they chose your answer, it's like going to be on their website. So that's fun. I hope
that came to mind when I thought of why play Upland. Thinking to myself, you don't play Upland, you basically be in Upland. That's the way I felt.
Right. I compared it to the golden age of social media, back when like social media was literally like organizing a get together with your friends to like binge watch all the horror movies, or you'd share memes and whatnot. Like before, it was all just Facebook groups and ads for stuff. Like that's what Upland feels like to me. People say it's the community, and it is. But like it's all the different ways that it is the community. It's not just that like there's people to
Sure.
talk to. There's the same people that you're working on projects with. You're also bullshitting with, and also in a fantasy sports league with, and also like so. Yeah, that was basically my answer. Was like this is the golden age of social media, all over again.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I do hope that, and I don't actually care if they use my answer or not. That was just that was a flash challenge where I was like, good question. I hope you get some good answers. I hope really too that they whoever's answers they use on their website, I hope they like credit them. I hope that they don't just put like quote a player. Although if they do use the players' Upland names, that might immediately disqualify some players from submitting an entry. I'm realizing. I can't imagine Upland being like Foreskin says
Depends on the
this is why you
question,
should
too.
play. Let's see. So no new Rome collections this week. When does the full reveal for that? It's when the season ends, right? I should know that, but I don't. I know that eventually they do release all the collections after they do the weekly things. I think it's like what the Thursday after the season. Hmm. Yeah, whatever.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Uh, I'm thinking to myself like which has got to be which is in what 2.5 weeks, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so there's still time. There's still time to mint out. When I get to the end of the month, I have to remind myself that the seasons are 6 weeks long. Because where it's the end of the month, in my mind, it's like, oh no, we're about at the end of the season. And then I gotta remember, like, no, it's a month and a half. Upland's not dumb. I'm dumb. Speaking of those of the weekly stuff, though, the weekly tasks. I know the answer to this already, but have you gotten around to doing your map assets and your structure ornaments?
I all lined up, just ready to put on. I think I've waited for this last round. Yes, I'll be getting all the tasks for the season, so I'm excited about it.
Yeah. I checked earlier and saw that yours hadn't gone through, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to chastise him a little bit. I'm gonna drag him to all 10 tasks if I have to. This one though, man, I tell you what, like it's really funny that in the same week that we have gotten like player made extensions to help with things like moving assets and filling collections and whatnot, then we immediately get two tasks. It's like, all right,
Mhm.
now you need to move a shitload of assets, and it's like, well, I'm glad somebody pointed out that extension to help move stuff, or not that,
More reason to
yeah.
extend.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm sitting there on my moving my 13th map asset to my property in Rome, and I'm just like, is this a joke? We were just talking about this.
Maybe Upland sponsorship.
Yeah, right. All right. So we're gonna wrap up here in just a little bit. Pretty much gone over everything that's been going on in Upland. Checked out Nolt. Oh, here's a question for you that I've been saving. When you're going to like pick up new properties and you're searching around, do you prefer to like fill out collections, like, or do you prefer like nodes, communities in terms of when you're picking up properties? Like you just, yeah, you know what I'm asking.
Mm, yeah. Uh,
Which one's
well,
more
I
important
think
to
it
you?
all depends very heavily. Yeah. It's really on what stage you're at in Upland uh, for any player. For me, right, I'm looking at, okay, is it something I want to keep or flippable, or can I fit for yield? Uh, it used to be that I mostly for like treasure hunting properties, and when I feel like I'm kind of maxed out particular avenue, or is it a property that has a service structure? For me, that's kind of intriguing new. But yes, when I'm looking for properties, um, if I'm looking on the map, it's honestly, when I'm looking on the map, it's usually more a treasure hunting situation because I want a specific position on the map. Where if it's for collections or just getting more yield, usually doesn't matter quite the position on the map. So in some ways, I found map-based uh, um, properties to be a little bit more fun into treasure hunting because they start to use the magnifying glass and or
Mm-hmm.
you like zoom certain areas and like check the pricing is in a certain area. So I do that maybe with the uppies is maybe we'll have filters that tell us, okay, if I search a specific area map, I'll be able to see the service structures in that area, what the pricing is on those, because that will also help me in on maybe how an uppie can travel to to get services. So there'd be a positional dynamic to buying and determining, what services and what types of services are best in the area. So that could really add to the dynamic that I feel only treasure hunting currently.
Right on. Yeah. Okay. I'd not considered personally how treasure hunting could play that a role in that, but that just shows that that's not been a core part of my playing. Yeah. No, that makes total sense. I've always just been on the community side of that.
Mm-hmm.
Just from the gig. It started for me from not wanting to get collections because I didn't want to get the coins to cover up my block explorer, and so it was like, well, if I'm not getting those, what am I getting? And it just kind of stuck. And so even now, like I'll still try and fill collections when I have opportunities, but even now, I'm way more tempted
Mm-hmm.
when I hear about a cool community to be like, all right, what's the floor on that? I'll buy one. It gets me every time because it is all about community. And speaking of the community, there are some other shows, and I listen to them as I've pointed out. I'm gonna talk a little bit about a couple of them. Um, I don't know this Upland. I don't know how much I'm gonna talk about Upland Revival in the weeks going forward. They're gonna have a guest day after tomorrow that I'm very excited about. I don't know if it's been announced or if I don't want to step on your toes with that, but I'm very excited to see what happens with that. But that aside, I'm not really sure how much I'm gonna even keep watching them. I My takeaway from them as a show so far is that if this is a revival in the tent revival sense, its sermon is sinners in the hands of an angry God. That's just so. They talked about a few different things, and some of those things just really rubbed me the wrong way, and so I'm going to talk about them. K. Twice said, quote, Well, I'm quoting here. I cleaned up a little bit, like, we all stumble over our words and whatnot. So I cleaned up, but said, quote, "If you're not in this game to flip for profit, then you're not playing this game for a real reason." My dude, take a step back, because that's a really fucking just like that's a that is a bold, that is barbecue sauce bold. There's a barbecue sauce bold stance to take. Um, you're claiming objective knowledge about what is a real reason to play a game. Okay.
And to revive Upland this way.
And to what? Say that again.
Oh, and I was saying, and to revive Upland based on flipping. It seems more of an antiquated cause, flipping properties all along. There's got to be more to the whole juice inside the Upland than just that.
Yeah, I agree. It's they focus a lot on that, on the flipping and and the profit or lack of profit and how that upsets them, and yeah, I agree with you. It's becoming antiquated, but I think that's also where a lot of them, they're upset that it's becoming antiquated. So I don't know. Another quote he said was, "Look at my net worth in this game. It's near 300 million. What is your guy's net worth?" Like, I mean, like, there's a few of these. And if you don't like to listen to this, you also don't have to. Are you trying to pick a fight with your audience? All right, just kind of weird. Like, they say that, like, they're trying to be constructive, so the decision makers fix stuff and that it brings the whales back. Then they tell the people commenting to stop being negative Nancy's, and that they want positive feedback, not negative feedback. It made me guffaw. I'm like, what? guys. Being negative is for us. Alright. So, yeah, I mean, they openly mocked players who would choose to focus on playing with uppies over flipping for profit, and I'm just like, hi, hello, that's me. But then again, I'm playing it wrong because I'm not playing it for profit first. So, whatever. I will say, K twice is positive in uppies in that they could domino effect into profit. He did. K twice was like, he didn't care that they're not for him. That they're for other people. That could turn into a profit for him. So I appreciate that. Kevin was just negative on uppies. But ultimately, I'm listening to the whole thing and being like, I disagree. So yeah, I just wanted to call out some of that. But it was several of those things, but most, like, you know what? I'm not gonna dwell. I've said my piece. They're also not here, and I believe in giving a perspective, but I don't believe in dwelling on something when the other person's not there to say their bit. So I'll move on. Unless you have anything. Sometimes I talk a lot. I know. That's something me and Uplando always had in common. He used to always say that he takes up all the oxygen in the room, and I'm like, yeah, I do that. Let's see here. I was listening to Lightning Legs show as well. At least for a bit of it. I don't think I quite finished his. He had Spy on again. As it looks like Spy is going to be a potential. He's going to be on, like, regularly, which is cool. Shout out to the male to the male people. I assume that Spy is a mail carrier, but I can't remember if they specified carrier or just employee. Anyway, they mentioned the food drive day when they were discussing service, and I'm literally delivering mail while I'm listening to that, and I'm just like, yep, in May. Well, look, 'cause, 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 'c most of the dog, like all of the dog bites that I've ever had as a mail carrier that resulted in scars, they all happened on food drive day. So like I'm not trying to be superstitious, but like the day makes me extra scared of dogs because I've got 2 scars so far from dogs on or on food drive day. And yeah, Spy says he is a mail carrier. So shout out.
What food drive is this?
Oh, right. I sometimes forget. Oh, hold on. Thought that was just the background glitching this whole time. What's glitching? Huh? Well, whatever. Yeah, Vulgar Uplander says I just thought the background was glitching the whole time, and I don't know what they're talking about. So, the food drive day, it's every year the second weekend, the second Saturday in May, I think. I should know it by heart, but frankly, I just wait until they announce it to us every year. What it is that like for the weeks like leading up to it, we will deliver cards to every single house on our route that basically says, "Hey, we're doing a food drive. If you want to do it, then here's the date we're doing it. Put out some canned goods and stuff. Please make sure it's not perishable." And anyway, then we the next day we'll take out a bunch of bags so that people can put their donations in bags and leave them out for us. And then we come back and we actually pick up the food. It's a whole big thing. It feeds a lot of people. They give us free pizza. It's fun times by all.
I guess the dog, the donation for food to them or something, and so they would anything they could.
Oh my gosh! The dog thought I was stealing their groceries. Shit, maybe. You might be onto something there. That might have been it. And Spy, yeah, man, no, I could not have said it better myself. The food drives are rough, but I love that we're helping people. I only point out the part with the dogs just because it's I'm carrying bags of food and then I get bitten. Yeah, no, it may not be the most fun day of work, but it is one of my it's one of the biggest reasons that I like being a mail carrier. Yeah. I'm just like Lightning Leg. I'm big on service. Always have been. Was just my whole life. It was a Boy Scout. Did all the service stuff. Hell, I went to a Jesuit college. I had required service, community service for college. So all about community service. So when I saw that we did the food drive day, I was like, all right, yeah, let's feed some people on the clock. I get paid for it too, so doesn't hurt.
All the better.
Yeah. Oh, and they also they let I know I'm dwelling a little bit, but fuck it, it's a good thing. They let you if you your family wants to help out, they can drive their car and just drive along with you the whole day, and your kid can help you picking the stuff up and taking the food, and it's a really cool day. We get to wear a T-shirt. We don't have to wear a uniform. They give us a special T-shirt for it.
Oh.
Oh, let's see.
Cool.
I gotta. Yeah, I'm sorry. I like I said, I talk a lot, and then sometimes I tend to ramble on a bit. Oh shit! They dock your overtime?
I also think so. As far as a food drive, it should be something Upland could really implement. For example, with the nurseries and the sun seeds, maybe we'll get to doing some cargo drives with some kind of food sources that then need to be good. And there could be a fun and fundraising element. Mine, sort of a vision that we just could all come into. We have dogs. Hopefully not biting, but there's just a lot of realism that's in the future for Upland.
Yeah, No, that'd be great. And we know that Upland has done some charity fundraising type stuff before, in a real sense, with both with the Ukraine block explorers and the Susan B. Anthony breast cancer awareness block explorers, with the badge for carbon going net neutral with carbon emissions on the EOS blockchain. So yeah, I mean, there is a definite precedent. So yeah, man, that'd be cool. And damn, Spy, if they dock our overtime, I just never noticed, but I've never been that good at actually checking the pay stub. I just make sure I'm getting enough money to pay my bills. They could screw me and I probably wouldn't even notice. It is what it is. I mean, I'm very diligent, Mr. Uncle Sam. Don't you dare think you can pull a fast one on me. Oh man. Let's see here. Let's see. Meant to be. We got Puppet still living in a van down by the river, and frankly, I just love that I love that that's a thing. I kind of hope that he just keeps going in the van. Why not? That's fun. But let's see where else. I already talked about Two Stupid's take on the abandoned prop construction and why I was surprised. Too Stupid had Wolf Warner on, and it's always fun to hear Wolf Warner talk about stuff. Also, I got to give props to Wolf Warner for not speaking. I spoke way more negatively about Upland Revival than he would be willing to, in terms of just like, dude was very clear about like, I'm not gonna be negative. Like, everyone's got their take, and that's great. And I gotta say, like, I mean, I'm gonna be salty, but damn, that was really cool. Good on him. You know.
Yeah.
If anybody hasn't watched the most recent Too Stupid for Web 3, I do recommend it, at least the first little while of it, if for no other reason than Too Stupid has a just hilarious and cute story about his little 5-year-old pulling a prank on him. Oh, I told my wife about this prank, and I had to tell her in our bedroom because I knew that if my kid heard it, she'd try it. So everybody go check that out. It's really cute.
You have an April Day coming soon.
No, it's funny you say that. That apparently that's what the 5-year-old says. They after the prank, they tell Too Stupid it's an early April Fool's prank. It's just way early. Oh man. And then finally, of course, we had Upland After Dark last night, which I'm never going to be able to tune in live. I don't know how I didn't put it together. They start at midnight. Like,
Wow.
yeah, I was just like, well, shit, I think it's one of the things where I used to be able to stay up for 3 days straight, no problem, in college with the help of Adderall, but now I'm just like, it's 10:30. I don't know about this. So like, I'm never gonna be able to catch them. Well, yeah, 9 p.m. on the West Coast, but who lives there except for Upland?
A question about the since I'll admit I get to see all of them live. Do they all make a good precedent for the city as a whole to be able to see the recording day, or when do they usually get their streams up?
Right. Okay. So, in that they all live stream. Well, okay. I say they all live stream on YouTube. That has an asterisk because Pigeon did recently put together like there's some audio only, like there's some like spaces on X that do he's calling it the radio guide as opposed to the TV guide. But for the YouTube ones, yeah, so like once you live stream and you're done, stays on your channel as a live stream. So like once I press this button to end the broadcast, it's gonna start transcoding it and optimizing it and doing whatever the fuck code thing it does in the background. But like it's there. So yeah, I download it as an audio file and just play it that way. Yeah. And yeah, no kidding, City Pigeon. You know, when I started this podcast, I had planned on it every week being only about an hour. And every single time I'm wrapping up and I'm like, it's been an hour and 45 minutes.
It's a good movie.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, you know what, you're right. It's just a good movie, you know?
Just like Scooby.
That's right. Oh man, and then yeah, so yeah, Upland After Dark was last night. They had they had SC Kicker on from the Hyde Park Ninjas, who was showing off their comics, and they got a website. I'm gonna bring that up now actually, because I haven't ordered them yet, but I'm gonna, because comics are cool. Which I'm gonna be working with or rather, Wolf Warren's going to be working with me at some point in the future on a comic-related giveaway, but that's to be worked on in the future.
It's like a legit competitor.
Do what? What'd you say?
I was saying, so we have like a new comic. Is this going to be like a legit competitive?
I mean, I have no idea what the plans are regarding it being released as an NFT, like in Upland and shit. I do know that it's like gonna be like a real comic. They've been showing it off and stuff. Hold on, how do you? I've not actually checked out like the website. I just copied like the link to it. So here we go. Comic Heroes of Hyde. Here we are. Yeah, I'll accept the cookies. I'm on a diet, but I'll accept your cookies. Legend of Ma Ri. This is issue number 2, September 2025. It's $5.99. They've also got.
Very well done.
Yeah. No, yeah. They apparently apparently the issue number 2, if I understood correctly, is a different artist than who they got for number 1. I don't see. Well, whatever. I'll figure it out later. But as you see, they make comics. They've got a bunch of cool stuff. Presumably, there's some place on the. Oh, there's a store. There's a store button. That's probably where you buy stuff. You probably go to the store button. Pro tip. Anyway, as you see, they got stuff. Yeah, here we go. All right, so it looks like the it's on sale for $4.99. Well, that's a steal, son. You're a fool if you don't order it. A fool, I say. They got cool posters of the characters, all kinds of stuff. I'm gonna get on here a little bit. Oh, yep. Here's issue number 1. Issue number 2. I'm gonna probably spend like $20 and get some cool stuff. But yeah. So you like comics, you like stuff, check them out because why wouldn't you? What else do we got? Wolf giving away the reprints. Starter cards I already talked about. Wolf mentioned about in regards to the Spark exchange. Just a quick little aside. He was pointing out how he had used to use his earnings to rent the Spark on the exchange, and like that's how he would supplement like getting his buildings finished. Is he would just use whatever he brought in for his earnings, put up a build, rent the Spark. That's what I used to do too all the time. I got so much built doing it that way, and yeah, man, he said he missed it, and I was like, me too. All right, that's all I got. Hard cut, all I got. Anything that you are that I missed or that you're waiting on to happen in Upland in the upcoming future that you're really excited about, want to talk about?
I think I just got a clue about different things, and as far as anything that I'm looking to, it's just getting a lot of those visionary ideas just to the forefront. That's what I'm really excited about. A little less about vision, about can we get more strategy, and I can wrap my head around. So right now I feel I'm in sort of like I'm living in Upland on the cloud. Like an idea of a whole bunch of ideas stored there currently. Can't actually like put in the floppy disk and run it. That's where I'm sort of like that's what I'm waiting for. I don't really think I'm waiting as much for the next city release, although I'll be excited if we see maybe like Athens or something in Africa or some exotic island or something, or maybe even something spooky. Like I'd love to see it closer to Christmas. I've for years is maybe we'll instead of a completely real city, we'll finally have like just a fantasy city release with as the city of Santa on the North Pole or something. Anyway, I
like that.
bottom, instead of all these visions, I just want to be a little bit closer.
Yeah. No, I agree too. That's an interesting thought. We have absolutely definitely moved from a point of just waiting for the next city release to now we're waiting for the next like mechanic, next big thing. And that is definitely a transition worth noting. Right on. Well, again, to the winners, I've got you written down. I'll be in touch to get you your harvest ornaments so that you'll have at least one ready for whenever we get the inevitable challenge next season. And with that, it's time to wrap up this week's episode, but the mystery remains, its solution ever elusive. I'd like to thank my co-host Cernus, as well as everyone joining us live or watching later. Alone, each of us is but a single gray cell. Together, we are the Upland Community Brain. Be safe, everyone. Catch you crazy cats and kittens on the flip side. Later,